Welcome back to Incredibly Uncensored. Look behind me. Do you see this?
Oh.
It's not only the sun, but we're like recording during the daylight hours. Like we're truly not vampires.
Is this a first?
It's pretty damn close. There might have been some early episodes that we recorded that were early, but we weren't doing video then.
Oh, true that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So now people are like, what the fuck? Does this asshole have his light on or something? Yeah. I do not. I do not. It's just daylight.
Yeah.
We're slowly but surely coming out of the darkness.
Yeah, dude. We're
and I'm fucking stoked.
Well, like next week is March. We've got the end of daylight savings time, the first day of spring, my motherfucking birthday. Like March is fucking full of great stuff.
With sun today, that's why I had to wear my loose shorts. I am bricked up. Because it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, man. And it's Friday.
And I've got my driveways cleared. The sun baked off what little bit of ice was left. I went out with the shovel and cleared it. Like my driveway's nice so the boys can play some basketball. I'm like, let's fucking go, man. I'm so ready for this time of year. There's just something about it makes me want to fuck and fight and fall in love. I want to do all the things.
Yes.
I just love it because I feel alive again.
Yeah.
There is something so basic about humans and their need for the sun.
I 100% agree.
You know, that's why the Egyptians, you know, they were worshiping Ra, the sun god.
Yeah, Ra, the sun god.
I mean, come on, man.
Was his name really Rod?
Yeah. No, not Rod, just Ra, R-A.
Oh, I think you said Rod, the sun god.
Yeah,
I'm
Rod,
like...
the sun god. No, I have the rod. Yeah. I was talking about being
like,
bricked
the
up.
Egyptians were not Rod, the sun god. Like, you made that up.
No, well, St. Brown.
Yeah.
Amun-Ra.
Amun-Ra, yeah.
That's the sun god.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it's all coming full circle. Not Rod. Not like Rod Stewart.
Amun-Ra, St. Brown.
We're both repping our Lions, though. Lions hat, Lions hoodie.
I seen a Lions guy the other day, goes repping the Lions. I said, all the time, baby.
Every day, every chance I get. Within reason.
Yeah, within reason.
Within reason. Somebody asked me, like, do you have a Lions tattoo? I'm like, no. If I were to ever get a Lions tattoo, Sheila would have to pay me some money.
I would 100% commit to getting a Lions tattoo if they win the Super Bowl. I would just, nothing crazy, just a lion, maybe with the like kind of better than Jim Harbaugh style, because his was kind of ugly, but cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, true story.
Yeah,
true story.
But
it's not bad.
No,
it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. That's going to be his only tattoo ever. He doesn't have any.
Right.
And that's going to be his only one.
Right.
And I think somebody drew it for him or something, didn't they? So,
yeah, there was a story behind it.
Yeah.
What have you. But... all right, so let's talk Sports Corner for a hot second.
Okay.
While we're in here, we do have, I didn't necessarily plan out an agenda like I did last episode. One, because we're recording way earlier than normal. I've been busy as hell, which is a good problem to have. Sure. But on the flip side, I do have two new segments. There you go. Segments. That's a much better word for a podcast. Jesus. Until I didn't spend much time in the office today. But two new segments. So you're in charge of our first segment, which is going to be Conspiracy Corner.
That's very fitting.
So I'm excited about that. So we can riff on some conspiracies every now and again.
Oh yeah.
And I'm giving you free reign. We can talk about any of it.
All right.
Full board.
Deal.
So you've got Conspiracy Corner, and then me, because I want to stay true to who I am, we're going to have another segment called Old Man Screaming at the Sky. And it's going to be me just going on a quick rant about something that frustrates me.
I love that.
So I think that
sounds good.
I think that it's important to have some reoccurring segments so people know what to expect. I'm excited for Conspiracy Corner because there's so many rabbit holes that you can go down.
Oh man.
Where you're just like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
So we can do a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 across the episodes, or we can just a la carte things as they come. And I'm excited about that.
That's a good idea. I like the continuing part 1, part 2, part 3. I like that. That's cool.
We can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Because there's some really enjoyable podcasts. Ninjas Are Butterflies, I think, is a podcast.
Yeah.
So I watch a lot of their shorts on TikTok and I listen to their podcasts, and they talk a lot about all sorts of off the wall shit, but I love it.
Yeah,
I think
me
it's
too.
super entertaining, super engaging. And whether it's real, whether it's fake, I still think it's a great point of conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, more recently, some conspiracies have been proven to be true.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can absolutely go down that rabbit hole. And then me, I just like to rant. So this is a very self-indulgent masturbatory segment where I just get to scream about things for 60 to 90 seconds. And that feels right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. I'm already in. I'm ready. I'm ready
So
for it.
sports corner.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
talk about a few things. After we both simultaneously take a drink of our Celsius. Our Celsiuses. Our Celsius.
Thank you, Celsius. Thank you, our Celsius. Oh, shit.
Well, we both, I mean, you got the two for deal. So we're both over here with our orange dreamsicle.
Yes.
But also we'll stop saying Celsius after that Celsius that I just said, but I'll stop it right now because you won't fucking sponsor us. So eat a dick, you fucks. PepsiCo.
Celsius forever.
Celsius forever. Boom. So sports corner real quick because newsflash, I'm in Las Vegas next week.
Yeah.
So this episode will come out on Wednesday, but we're recording Friday night.
For sure.
So we've got a huge matchup in the Big Ten tonight.
Ooh.
We have our Michigan Wolverines sitting number 1 atop the Big Ten.
Yes, sir.
Playing against the number 2 Michigan State Spartans.
At Chrysler. Yes, sir.
It is going to be a hell of a game tonight. I am excited.
Me too.
You know,
this
is like
I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Battle of the Goliaths,
awesome.
man. Both teams are playing lights out right now.
And
lights out.
That's why I love it. I'm like, this. They said this is the first ranked matchup since 2020. I think they said.
Okay.
Where we've both been ranked. You know.
This is going to be so much fucking fun. And you know what? As crazy as it sounds, and I love Michigan football.
Yeah.
But I am a fan of Michigan State basketball.
Same.
I've been watching them since the Flintstones. I mean, the whole shebang. Tom Izzo is an absolute fucking bad scientist with the things he can get these teams to do.
Yeah. And I mean, his whole season is preparation for the madness. I mean, right out of, right out of the gate, they're talking about it.
100%. He has a singular focus, and that is it.
Yep.
So
and Dusty May coming in. This is his very first year. I mean, this is why you come to Michigan.
100%.
For these games right here. 1 and 2, getting ready to go into the tournament.
Yep.
Huge.
It's going to be so much fucking fun tonight. I am stoked. I am stoked. So we've got that going on tonight. Last night was the championship game for the Four Nations hockey tournament. That was amazing.
It was good.
Did not end up the way that we were hoping, but my God, what a fucking series that was.
Yeah.
When you consider the All-Star breaks or like the Pro Bowl in the NFL, you know, the NBA All-Star game, which is, ugh. I tried to watch some of it. It's just
not good anymore.
It's not good. It's not, you know, because you want to see competition, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about hockey is that when they did this with the Four Nations tournament, and there's talk about this becoming a reoccurring thing.
Oh yeah, now
potentially, because I mean, so many people are into it. Did you see the tweet JJ Watt put out?
I did.
It was awesome.
He's so right though.
Absolutely right.
I mean, you were telling me about the tournament that was going on, you know, and then all over social media, I've seen people talking about it, you know, and then it ends up, lo and behold, USA versus Canada, you know, which is just primetime hockey.
Oh yeah.
But I was telling you last night, them guys are saying like all of these guys from both teams were looking at this as like a game, like they wanted to win this for their nation, for the team, you know, and a lot of these guys that were playing injured weren't going to be active Saturday for their actual NHL team,
which coming out of the break into the second half of the season.
I mean, which kind of tells you like that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I mean,
dude,
and it was hard. I mean, them guys were fucking playing hard.
Yeah.
The whole time.
And it was such a tight game. It was so close. Nobody ran away with anything. And the US came up short in the end. I tell you what, I can't recall their goalie's name, but that motherfucker in the third period and overtime, he was a fucking brick wall. Yeah. I mean, we had shots on shots on shot. He's making glove saves. He's fucking all over the crease. I'm like, God damn.
Pulled through when they needed him.
Yeah, this dude is fucking cranking, which is just wild. But it was an amazing tournament. I really think they need to do something to get Russia in there.
Yeah. For
you know,
sure.
because there's so many amazing
Why is
Russian
Russia
players.
not in there?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I truly don't know. But I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, Sweden played great.
Yeah.
The fucking who's the other one?
There was Sweden, Finland.
Finland.
Yeah.
Sweden, Finland, US, and Canada.
Canada. Yeah.
Love to add Russia in there. I don't know if there's a sixth nation that we could include. Doesn't matter. It was so much fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
So much fun to watch. And like you said, those guys, they were in it. They were locked in, ready to fucking roll.
Yeah, like they were honored, you know, to
Yeah.
be on that team.
Yeah,
You know, and it was
absolutely.
like, fuck yeah, like let's do
Yep.
this, you know?
Yeah, I think they did make some comments about next year because there's going to be the Winter Olympics
Mm-hmm.
that they may not have another 4 nations for next year. I don't know. I think a lot of things are up in the air,
Because of Olympic hockey.
Yeah.
Right.
but it was fucking amazing. No matter how you shake it, it was so fucking great to watch that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially with football being gone.
I know.
So I mean, let's talk about the football Pro Bowl for a little bit because
Yep.
they didn't have the game. They have the skills competition
Mhm.
now, which
My favorite part of the entire thing of the skills competition is tug of war.
yeah, that is fun.
Watching the linemen from the AFC and the NFC go head to
Yeah.
head, fucking awesome.
And I mean, they do a lot of those skills competitions that everybody always wonders about, you
Right.
know, like who can throw the furthest, who can throw
Right.
the hardest, who
Right.
can, you know, who is the most
Who's
accurate.
who's the
And-
most accurate?
yeah, and
which
all-
was Goff.
Yeah, I know. But it's cool and it is cool to see those kinds of things. I
Yep.
wish there would maybe do a little bit more to make it a little bit cooler,
Yeah.
you know,
And
TV wise.
And I'm sure if you were there, like if you went to Orlando
Yeah.
and you were at the ESPN complex and you were there, they probably had a ton of really cool shit that was interactive for spectators and fans of the game and all that.
After seeing the draft, there's no doubt in my
Sure.
mind that it was awesome.
But from a television perspective, not being there, it was kind of like, it's pretty meh.
Yeah. There was nothing really to like keep me engaged, you know,
Right.
that I was really looking forward to.
Like it was on, but I was like doom scrolling on my phone, you know, just doing whatever,
Same.
you know,
Yep.
which is perfectly reasonable, but also
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm. So with the Winter Olympics coming up, we've got curling,
Mm.
which is going to be all. Kelly's already making fun of me because I was looking at
Dude, curling is fucking badass.
That's
You know
what
how
I
much
said.
skill that takes?
That's exactly what I said. I was looking. They had some pre-trials or whatever they
Sure.
were doing, the different countries and stuff, and I kicked it on, and I could just see her give me the side eye. Like,
What the fuck are you
Yeah.
watching?
she's like, "Did you really click that?" You know, kind of look, and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's fucking Team USA
So-
trials for curling. Look at these guys."
So
you know?
maybe it's just my appreciation for the skills that it takes to be playing anything at that level.
No.
But if it's televised, it's not like I'm watching guys at Mojo's, our local watering hole, play cornhole.
Right.
Like these are people that have like perfected this. This is like full-time shit for a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And I think it's fucking cool. I will watch any Olympic sport. There's almost there isn't anything that comes to mind immediately that I won't watch.
Yeah, when it comes to the Olympic,
I love
the
all
Winter
of them.
Olympics are awesome.
Oh, they're super cool.
Like, got is it bobsledding?
Yeah.
Is that where I mean, just absolutely
Yep.
fucking cooking down. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, that's I mean, they're fucking moving.
Oh,
you know, it's like, woo. They got
Yep.
helmets on and shit. They're like little bullets just
Yeah.
cruising down the ice.
And then you
luge.
get the inadvertent crash, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
you know,
but-
shit's it's assholes and elbows and
Yeah.
a fucking missile just shooting by them.
Yep. Like, holy shit.
It's fucking crazy.
It is. It is super
love,
cool.
I love all of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
and then last up for Sports Corner, just while it's because it's top of mind, Wembanyama is out all season now.
Yeah, dude.
He's out the remainder of the season.
Deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, I feel
Big deal.
terrible.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for him. I mean,
Dude
that's
was cooking.
yeah,
I mean, finally, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
here we are.
Well, and our Detroit Pistons are taking on the Spurs tonight
Oh, yeah.
without Wembanyama. So I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that sucks bad for him. So is that where he's going to have that procedure where they cut the additional vein, like the excess vein out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That was my first, like, you know what I'm talking about, where they cut it, pull it,
Mhm.
put it back together because
Mhm.
it's too much vein going on in there,
Right.
which would make sense for a guy of his size. I mean,
Oh,
fuck,
absolutely.
he's super tall.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. There was a cool shot of, I think it was Kyrie against Wembanyama, and Kyrie was just showing off some mad skills. But that boy, you know, he has such a reach everywhere. It's just
Dude.
it's impossible when you're guarded by him. Like, holy fuck.
you could see the potential with him as a rookie. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep.
he was kinda like a brand new toddler just kind of
Right.
figuring it out and getting
Right.
the game speed, and then, man, the next year was just a
Yep.
big jump. I was like,
Right.
"Oh, shit, here he is."
Well,
Like,
and I'm anticipating a very similar move for like Zach Edey
oh,
as
yeah,
well.
same.
You know, I
That's that
think
kid out of Purdue, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think Zach's going to be around for a long time and be a pain in the paint.
They were talking shit about him, saying that them centers that come out of the Big Ten, they don't play good, and
Yeah.
yada yada yada. But that dude was pretty dominant in the
Yeah.
Big Ten. Like, I don't think he wasn't an average good center. I mean,
No.
he's a big dude.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
So
hopefully he does good.
I
That'll be
don't
cool.
know. We love our sports, but
Yeah.
this isn't a sports podcast. This is incredibly uncensored.
That's why that was Sports Corner. It's just a
Sports
corner of
yeah,
it.
a segment.
Yeah, just a yep,
Just
just a segment.
Just
Yeah.
a segment. Just a segment. All right. So do you want to get into Conspiracy Corner? Have a chat there?
Yeah, I got some things I could talk about. There's a lot of things going on right now.
Well, we're gonna limit you to one.
Okay.
Conspiracy
I-
Corner, and then we can chat about it. Let's riff on it.
I've got the perfect one off the top of my head that's
Perfect.
relatively new.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
So, have you heard about the conspiracy that the French President Emmanuel Macron? So, it gets deeper. So, the initial conspiracy is that his wife, God, Brigitte Macron. Oh, I got to do this. See when I do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the conspiracy is that she's actually a transgender, was a man.
Yep.
That Emmanuel was like 14 years old or younger.
Yeah.
And was groomed and then ended up marrying each other. And then she was like a government instrument, and they had planned to groom him to get to be the president of the French. So,
dear sweet fucking Lord.
so listen,
Oh
it
my God.
sounds fucking crazy. It really does. So Candace Owens got wind of this at first.
That's what I was gonna say. So
Yep.
because I follow Candace on TikTok and on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I saw her talking about it, but I didn't go down the rabbit hole. So I'm glad you brought this one up because I'm curious to hear more about it.
Well, dude, she found out so much that she did a 6-part YouTube series on it.
No shit.
Yeah, the last one just came out. I watched the very first one, but I hadn't watched the other ones. I was going to wait for the whole thing to come out
Sure.
and then just watch it in succession.
Right.
So apparently, a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, but I haven't watched the whole thing either.
Sure.
I guess when you get to the end, all this evidence that piles up kind of comes to some kind of an insinuation that his wife might actually be his dad, and that
What?
yeah, and that these bloodlines are like to keep it like real tight in the bloodlines, but they didn't have a daughter. So the dad fucking went completely transgender and then married his own son in order to keep the bloodlines tight and to get him to be.
What in the sweet holy motherfuck?
It isn't that fucked up. So
What in the deep South Alabama is going on?
So it's really fucking weird. And this is going to sound weird, but don't take it this way. But it, like, part of it makes sense when you think of it like back to the really old days
Yeah, of
of the
course.
separation of
Yeah.
countries and stuff, and
Yep.
and trying to keep the bloodlines really tight. And maybe
Pure. I think
Pure.
the word you're looking for is pure.
Yes. Just to keep the
But how is it pure to marry your fucking father? What the fuck?
it gets fucking twisted. You know what I mean? So
Jesus.
I'm gonna watch this whole 6-part series.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it this weekend and make my own
Yeah.
educated opinion on the facts that are
Dude.
there, dude. But that's a pretty serious fucking accusation for you to come out. I mean, it's the French president, like,
What the fuck?
of the French fucking superpower of the world. So what does this do if it's true? Does it crumble? Like, does it crumble? Do they justify, like, do they somehow justify keeping the bloodline pure and the royalty and all this? Because you've heard little things about like England and stuff doing that
Sure.
with the king and the queen and
100%.
all of them people, you know, kind of interbreeding a little bit.
Yep.
And fuck, maybe they just took it to the extreme. Like, maybe something fucking happened and they couldn't have another kid, you know, and
That
they were like,
is
well,
unnerving.
Super.
That is unnerving. Well, and it goes back to like that whole, you know, Illuminati aspect of like certain people,
Yeah.
families ruling certain
Well,
things.
and that's, the big running conspiracy is that the Rockefellers
Sure.
still run everything. That
Right.
they created our education textbooks and they basically control our Department of Education and
Right.
and that's why a lot of people are for what Elon and Trump and Doge are doing.
Sure.
And my personal opinion is that the people that are against it maybe haven't quite went down that full rabbit hole yet
Yeah.
to know the possibilities of what could be.
Yeah.
Maybe they're still living in the because don't get me wrong, I'm all for peace, love, no war, all those things.
Yeah.
But believe in what I believe, I feel that they've tried that for a really long time, and maybe
Right.
it's too twisted right now
Right.
to get around that. And right now, our only solution is to rip the Band-Aid off and then
Right.
get to peace, love, no war.
Sometimes you have to burn it all to the ground.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to burn it to the ground.
And it fucking sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's right.
Right.
I'm not saying like it's the completely right way. Nobody's gonna agree with it completely, but
Right.
I understand.
Well, as a card carrying libertarian, I really love as much as they want to cut every fucking ounce of it.
Yeah,
I want a strong border, and that's about it from the government. That's what I need
that's it.
from you.
Yeah, and I do want to say one thing
Please.
because they've been humming and heeing and hawing about these $5,000 checks. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
And we're $36 trillion in debt.
Right.
No matter how much we save right now, we can't afford a $5,000 stimulus.
Oh, let me hit on that point real quick. One thing that I tell the boys, because of course, my boys are getting a little bit older, so they're talking about like, oh, I'm going to be in the NFL. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. I want to have millions of dollars. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
I said, the one thing you have to understand, children, as we have this conversation, you
Mhm.
can't save your way to being a millionaire. You
Right.
can earn your way to being a millionaire. So in my mind, what they need to focus on is cut the frivolous spending. But on the flip side, we need to be a prosperous nation.
Yeah.
You need to take so many of
Everything
these restrictions off of capitalism and allow it to flourish.
Yeah.
I will always be a proponent of capitalism, the free market.
Yep.
Let the free market dictate.
But let it be capitalism
Yes.
without the restrictions. You know what I
Correct.
mean? If you let it work as the system that it's intended to be,
Right.
it will be that.
Right.
You know?
Instead of capitalism adjacent.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
But I was just having this conversation with Kelly. I said, I want to be clear. I said, I don't want $5,000. I paid much more than that in taxes this year. Like, that's
Yeah.
almost like a slap in the face. Like,
Right.
unless you're going to give me $250,000 and then not tax it, I don't even want to fucking talk about it.
Right.
Because if you can get my fuel down, my groceries down, my energy bill down, if you can get all of
Right.
my
And you
basic
can allow my business that I work with to flourish.
thrive. Exactly.
And I can make more money and we can expand and we can do all these
then
things.
I don't even need that 5,000 because I'm going to make so much more, right out of the top. But
to me, that whole thing, again, from a libertarian perspective,
Mhm.
that whole like $5,000, it fell flat. I felt the same way. I don't want the money
No,
because it's only going to increase inflation.
that's it.
When you give everybody the same amount of money, everybody has the same amount of money.
Yeah, like
you
we
haven't done anything to help.
we realized, the other stimulus, God, it had such a small, minute effect. I mean, it was like a 5-day influx or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, what's $5,000 going to do? Like, we're all still in the same boat. If you give me 5,000,
Right.
like, I'm still paying the same amount for everything. It doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
I can go get 5,000. I don't need that. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
what the hell? So I know there's going to be some people that are absolutely on the train. There always is,
Mhm.
the opportunistic people, but I hope everybody like takes a look at it like, hey, this is not what we need.
Right.
And if
We need to get the fuck out of debt.
yeah, we got some money from some tariffs coming in. We're saving a lot of money here. So I mean that it's probably not shrinking much, but it is,
Right.
shrinking. So once we can kind of enact that stuff, these other countries get their life figured out. We
Yeah.
get our life figured out,
Yep.
and everything starts humming again.
Right.
I think it's all going to be fine. It's just a lot of everything's on fire.
Well, nobody likes uncertainty, right? We wouldn't want that in our household. We wouldn't want that in our local community. We don't want it in our government.
Mhm.
But we collectively, the United States, have to understand we can't continue down the same path we were going.
Right.
I don't want to talk about any of the social aspects of it, just the spending.
That's it. Yeah.
Just the spending. We're going to spend our way into becoming the next Roman Empire
Yeah.
where we disappear.
Flat. Yeah.
You know,
Or some other nation's going to take over.
right.
You know, because we owe them so much money.
Absolutely.
And that's an actual possibility. You
So
know?
I like the idea of internalizing our things, stop sending money everywhere, stop all the crazy spending on weird programs. And
Mhm.
I don't care how sea lions have sex in March. Like, that's not a study we need
Nope.
to pay for.
Especially over in Congo.
Right. So, I mean, it's just wild.
Mhm.
But to bring it back to the conspiracy corner,
Yeah.
what Candace Owens is doing is amazing. Like, that's legitimate, like, independent journalism.
That's exactly what I said. And that's what I love
Yeah.
about it, is that it's like, this is just her work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she found a little bit of something, she dug a little bit and
Yeah.
then found, and now she's like, holy shit, somebody else has to see this. Like,
Which is wild.
and she has to think, anybody that does this has to think at the very beginning, like, is that true?
Mhm.
You know, like, what the fuck? But if you just
Well, and the
if you
funny
just
thing is
follow these trails.
I haven't seen it anywhere on mainstream media.
No.
And this story is probably, for all intents and purposes, as far as the mainstream media is concerned, fucking radioactive.
So the fucking French government sent her a letter before, like, the day or two before she released this,
Yeah.
asking her not to release it. And then the day, like 12 hours before she was going to release it, her website got DDoSed
No
and
shit.
went down. Yeah, so that's why she put it on YouTube. So
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna throw it on YouTube then, because you're not gonna DDoS that.
Right.
And
Good fucking luck.
yeah,
You're not going to take down the alphabet.
no way. So she put it on there, but yeah, and then that same week that fucking thing came out, everybody's over there with the French government doing those fucking, and I'm like, everybody's gotta feel so weird right now. Like,
Just
don't
wild.
talk about it.
Just wild.
She's sitting front row,
Well,
with
and
her husband, and everybody's like,
I saw just a smidge of it.
mhm,
Just a smidge of it. And it was all like in shorts form,
yeah,
like whether it was on TikTok or Instagram, wherever it was. But they showed a picture of Macron's wife.
Yeah.
And they're like, somebody said, looks like when E.T. dressed up in the closet.
But yeah,
I'm like,
it's
that is so true. Cause like there was like weird no neck thing, shoulders were too high, wearing a weird hat.
yes.
And it was all like kind of barrel chested. I'm like, oh boy.
Well, they fucking I guess the French government or whoever is like mildly trying to justify some of this. So
Yeah.
they sent this thing out that said that Brigitte Macron was a teacher and was uh basically very, very sexually attractive and popular in the school, and there was a lot of boys that wanted her or whatever. So Candace took that and then posted a picture of her in like the fucking late 80s, early 90s, was sitting in front of this typewriter, and Jesus, it looks and she goes, "Control yourself, boys," on there, and like everybody's on there with the wide-eyed emoji, like, like there's no way. There's no way.
Listen, we all went through the horny years.
Oh yeah.
Even in my horny years, I had limits.
Yes.
I wasn't trying to bang my 50-year-old teacher
That does. Oh,
that
God,
looked like E.T. dressed up in a dress.
yeah, she almost had a fucking haircut like oh, what's his name? The owner of the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? Guy with the bowl cut, looks
Yeah.
like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. Almost had a haircut just like that, but it's like, man,
Irresistible.
yeah, but it's almost like, I can't say for certain that it's a guy, but there's some inclination there.
And here's what I like about Candace. Whether you like her politics and what have you, I believe that she is. This isn't like a TMZ type report.
No, I don't think so either.
To me, this feels like she's going to do her due diligence because she doesn't want to look like a fucking idiot.
That's you
You know,
know,
so she's going to make sure that things are like legitimately vetted.
well, because I mean, she's got a lot of opposition. She's a woman and she's black and
Yeah.
she's an independent journalist. So
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much kind of the odds are stacked against her when it comes
and
to
largely
credibility.
conservative.
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of people that are gonna be like,
Right.
but she puts out work that's like, hey, here's the receipts, prove me wrong.
Right.
You know, like
Wow.
if you can show me otherwise, I'll listen.
That
But
is crazy. So we might have to talk about it again next week,
yeah,
just so that we can do a follow-up. I'll try to watch the series as well.
okay. I'll
And
remind you. Maybe you can get some time when you're in Vegas when
yeah,
you're
watch
not
a
doing
little bit on
nothing.
the flight or something.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fucking wild.
yeah, for
Just
sure.
wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like
It's absolutely
it's
fucking
ab-
insane.
I posted on Facebook for all my little people out there, and this old friend of mine, she goes, "Oh, Michael," and I'm like, "I know it seems." I'm like, "Did you watch it though?" She's
Right.
like, "No, I didn't watch it." I said, "Well, watch it and
Right.
let's talk about it because this is crazy."
That
You
is
know?
absolutely insane.
I know.
And that's the shit I'm looking for on Conspiracy Corner. So air high five, boom.
Yes,
That's the way to do it. That's what I'm talking about.
that's a
I
good
want the
start.
weird, crazy, fucking wild shit.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy though. Holy
Oh,
shit.
I know.
So Emmanuel Macron is married to his father, who has undergone transgender reassignment surgery, is now a woman whose name is Brigitte.
Yep. And then apparently there was a
Wow.
real Brigitte, but nobody knows where she is or what happened to her.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, so, like, I need to watch the whole series to fill in these blank spots here,
Wild.
but it's
I feel like we're in like a Stanley Kubrick film, like Eyes Wide Shut, like weird shit's going on.
and so that's the thing. If we find out this is all true, you gotta you have to question every nation now,
Oh yeah,
right? Like,
without a
I mean,
doubt.
including our own. Like, you gotta question everything.
Well, and
It's like,
that's
whoa.
the wild thing about it is, and we've talked about this, nobody necessarily wants to be in one of these public positions because of all the shit that you deal with.
Right.
The reason that they accept it is because of the power that they wield. It's always a power play. It's always a power grab. It's always
sure.
like, "Ooh, I'm so and so. You can't say or do this because I said so." It's so self-indulgent
Mhm.
and gross.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I have such terrible feelings towards government in general.
Yeah, no,
Because everything just feels like it's always a power play.
well, and imagine how quickly things can get tumultuous. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? When you have that many
Yeah.
people, I think there's, they say 4,600 employees have been let go,
Mm.
I think is what they said. Everything seems to still be working. There's a lot of uprising, a lot of people that are upset about it, but everything still seems to be functioning okay.
Well,
You
and
know?
I mean, Elon was able to go into Twitter, cut 75% of the workforce, cancel almost every contract he had, and still has a platform that is operating efficiently and openly and is fucking cranking.
Yeah.
That's the approach the government needs to take. We need to run efficiently and with the bare minimum.
They actually banned X in one of the countries because the country is trying to like influence their elections and
No.
shit. And there was people that were on there that were against the current president.
Yeah.
And the president actually banned X. God, man, I wish I could remember what country it was. Just heard about it the other day, but
It's fucking crazy.
it is crazy.
And that's one of the benefits to having social media.
And those are some of the
It's
things
more open communication.
yeah, exactly. And those are some of the things I think that the people here need to remember
Right.
and know is that right now over in the UK, there's actually people getting jailed for
Right.
posting anti-government memes.
Which is insane.
So, I mean, shit that I post on
Right.
the internet
Right.
would get me jailed
Right.
over in the United Kingdom at the moment.
Disgusting.
And doesn't that just seem like
Yep.
just fucking far, like, that's crazy.
So authoritarian
There's
and terrible.
free speech is free speech as long as it's not hate speech. As long as you're not being racist and you're, degrading people and like all, I mean, all that kind of stuff. Like we got to thicken our skin up a little bit so that
Right.
if you're having an interaction with somebody that you don't like, remove yourself from the interaction, especially if it's on the internet,
Yeah.
like just stop, block them. Like there's a lot of options in there, but like it's very important that people say what they feel.
Right.
And that's how we judge them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's how you get friends or not friends. Like, nah,
Right.
I'm not gonna
Right.
associate with them people, you know? And yeah,
100%.
and eventually they'll either be a fucking outcast
Yep.
or they'll change their perspective because you're a product of your environment. And if you're around all
Yep.
them type of people that are upbringing and positive, you're essentially gonna become one of those mostly.
Yeah.
You might still have your negative aspects, but that's what makes you who you are.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I think we just gotta get back to that, you know, and just realize how good we have it here,
Oh, absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely,
and
we do.
not take it for granted as
Yeah. I
much.
mean, even in the past 4 years, you know, with all the craziness that was occurring with our government and
Mhm.
everything else. And even currently, with all of the craziness, regardless of which side of the spectrum you're on, there aren't too many other countries that I would want to be a citizen of.
Same.
I I I don't bleed red, white, and blue because I'm my own individual person,
Mhm.
but I love America. I
Yeah.
love the opportunities that it affords me. I love the freedoms that we have, and I love all of those things.
Mhm.
So when we talk poorly about certain things that occur in our government, that's not us hating on it. We're
No.
not shitting on things, but we can still voice our opinions freely. That's
Exactly.
the key.
Yeah.
You know, when we lose the ability to be critical of our president, our Senate, our House, our local politicians, things like
Mhm.
that, we can't lose that freedom. We have to be able to
Yourself.
we have to engage in civil disobedience at times.
Mhm.
And that is an okay thing.
Yeah.
That is an okay thing.
I mean,
You
that's
can do it within the confines of the law. That is what is afforded to us under the Constitution.
yeah, and if you have a successful protest, it's not to be destructive, it's to get the word out to
Right.
people that maybe don't know,
Right.
you know, and maybe they give a shit too, and now you can get a
Well,
bunch of people.
and I think the most important thing, and I beat on this drum very frequently, we need to be able to have civil discourse.
Yeah.
We don't have to walk away from a conversation with you changing my mind or me changing your mind. You are entitled to your thoughts and I respect them, but we can have a conversation about it.
Mhm.
We don't have to agree at the end,
Right.
but you can state your position. I can state mine. And this is what I try to tell my kids too. We need to be able to have these discussions because I want you to be able to defend your position.
It's very important.
If I have such a fragile grasp of a certain ideology that I hold on to, and it can be torn down in a matter of a few sentences when having a discussion, well, then do I really understand what I'm talking about?
That's exactly it.
I want to be able to defend my positions and understand them thoroughly.
Yeah,
Now, it
and
doesn't mean I need to be educated about everything.
mhm.
There are some things that I'm going to be ignorant of. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to be like, no, fuck that, I don't think spending needs to be cut at all. Da, 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 da. Well, why?
Why
Where does this
exactly.
money come from?
Why? Yeah.
We can't just continue to print money.
Right.
I mean, and it truly is simple economics.
And that's what Elon said. He's
Right.
like, it's a pretty simple checks and balances system. You know, there's
Yes.
money coming in, money coming out, and he said and that was way off. So
Right.
it's
If we were running our households the way the federal government runs its household, we would be bankrupt.
yeah,
We would be destitute. We wouldn't have an ounce of possessions.
yeah. You're
And it's like, if I can't do that with my own household, why would I ever want my government to operate that way?
yeah, and it's
Money coming in should be equal or less than money going out.
yeah,
In my mind, that's such a simple equation. I just don't understand where it was like, oh my God, you can't cut this. Yeah, but where's this magical money coming from?
and you know they say that you know our veterans are going to suffer and our homeless are going to suffer, and it's like they're already suffering. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, they're already having a lot of opposition at the VA, and there's already a lot of problems going on
Sure.
there, and our homelessness is through the roof. It's, like, higher than almost it's ever been, you
Right.
know? And it's like, there's a lot of things wrong already. Like, imagine we save all this money and we make
Right.
all of those programs better.
Right.
You know, let's go through 6 to 8 months of a little bit of stress and tumulus times to make all of these better. Like, imagine we have millions of dollars to shove
Right.
into the VA and millions of dollars to shove into homeless programs
Right.
to maybe see if some of these people wanna be
Instead of
rehabilitated.
propping up foreign countries.
100%.
Well, and so I follow Joe Jorgensen, who ran for president a couple
Yep.
terms ago on the Libertarian ticket. And I follow her on Facebook. I like a lot of the stuff that she says. And again, I'm never 100% in agreement with any politician.
Same.
And that's perfectly reasonable. But one thing she did say is she's like, okay, and she was talking more broadly about the government. You guys have gone through and you've made the Democrats cry. She's like, now it's time to make the Republicans cry.
Right.
You know, and they're talking about Elon going into the Pentagon and stuff like that. There you go.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Well, now
Everybody needs to be scrutinized. This is not like, in my opinion, and again, from my very specific political views, I don't give a fuck what party you subscribe to. Everything needs to be cut across the board.
every single person that holds a position in office right now is to blame for
Yes.
our current position, because some of them, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they
Right.
weren't complicit and maybe they didn't fucking know.
Mhm.
A lot of them knew.
But now's your chance to change it.
Yeah, and now everybody knows. And
Yep.
it's like, instead of crying wolf and saying, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" Why
Right.
don't you just fucking look into it?
Right.
Why don't you see how legit it is? And if it's legit, if you're a real fucking person that wants to help this country,
Right.
then help him fix it.
Right.
And if
Be
not,
part of the solution, not part of the problem.
that's it. And I mean,
100%.
and until then, I mean, like I said, every single fucking person up there,
Yep.
I could give two shits about.
100%.
You know, like, let's just, we could just wipe the whole fucking thing out and
Yep.
start over for all I care.
Yep.
You know,
110%.
this is, it sounds stupid, but it's America first right now. And it has to be in order to get all this straightened out.
Yep.
And then we'll figure it out. But it makes sense. All of this, the whole US aid thing, if this all comes out and it is what it is, it makes sense of why we're involved in everything, because it's probably our problem.
Right.
We probably manufactured
Right.
that problem and it got out of control.
Right.
That's why we're involved in everything. And it makes complete fucking sense, because I've wondered that my whole life.
Right.
Like, why are we even over there?
Right.
Like, how did this even start?
Right.
You know? And it's because two fucking old men were mad at each other, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of what it all boils down to. And it's like, oh, we're gonna fuck your country over.
And it's always, you know, a couple of politicians sitting in their fucking castles, you know, wanting to go to war with each other, sending off our children,
That's it.
our friends, off to war to die for nothing. Like, realistically,
Really,
nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the part that bothers me the most.
Same.
I want to be able to protect my country. That's the extent of it.
Yeah. That's the
I
extent of it.
want our, you know, aircraft carriers stationed on our coast, protecting us. That's the extent of it. You know where I don't want to go? I don't want to go to the Middle East.
No.
I don't want to go anywhere near Russia. I want to protect us as America and be done with it.
Period. Yeah.
Yep.
And this, it just, none of that stuff makes any sense. You know, hopefully they get it all straightened out. We can go into some more of it next week, but hopefully they get all this shit straightened out.
I love it. All right. Time for my section.
Yes.
Old
My
man
favorite.
screaming at the sky. All right, here we go. So one of the things that irritates me so much is the lack of financial intelligence and education in this country. I think it is absolutely insane, because everybody I see on my timeline, I see it on Reddit, I see it here, there, and everywhere. Oh, can't wait to get my tax return back. Can't wait to get my tax return back. You are giving the government your money to do with as they so please, and you are anticipating this refund. That is your fucking money.
Yeah.
Every single one of us, if we are doing our taxes correctly, should be doing our taxes and paying plus or minus $100, either receiving it or writing a check. And that should be the extent of it. This madness that, like, oh, I'm getting 15,000 back. What? You just gave the federal government a fucking interest-free loan, and then they make you jump through all of the hoops to be like, oh, I want my money back. What in the sweet motherfuck are you doing? You stupid, dumb little child.
It seems crazy.
It is mind-blowing to me. It is the complete and utter lack of financial intelligence in this country will be our downfall. Because people, the citizenry, would not be screaming about the things that Doge is doing if they understood what their finances look like in their own household.
Yeah.
And I get it. Things can be difficult. Inflation, the price of eggs, the price of groceries, the price of gas, the price of new cars, old cars, all the things. All the things are expensive. We can't change that. What we have control of is our income and our expenses. And we need to understand how those things operate and how they're intertwined. And it's like, oh, well, I have to have my Netflix subscription and my Paramount Plus subscription and my YouTube TV subscription, and I need my internet and I need this and I need that. It's like, and I deal with first-time home buyers all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, they have champagne taste and Miller High Life budgets.
Yeah,
And
for
I'm
sure.
like, and this again, I think we talked about this before. Maybe we talked about it offline, not on one of the pods, but I'm like, and I'm trying to talk to the boys about this. You have to make the hard decisions so that you can have an easy life.
Yeah.
If you make the easy decisions, that's going to lead to a hard life. Because guess what? You're going to turn 18 and every credit card company from here to Christmas is going to be like, here's a credit line. Here's $5,000. Here's $10,000. Here's $20,000. And you're a 19-year-old declaring bankruptcy because you can't pay off the $40,000 worth of shit you bought.
Did you find that out? Did you know that, or did you find that out the hard way?
Oh, no. From a very young age, I was reading the Wall Street Journal.
Were you really?
Yes.
God, good for you.
Yep.
I found that out the hard way.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what?
But I found it out.
You found it out, but you made the necessary changes, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not trying to get into your personal business. I filed bankruptcy.
Yeah,
we had
same.
some crazy things happen with some of our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was self-inflicted. Some of it was out of our control. That's life.
For sure.
We had a good grasp before. We went through the dark times, and now we're coming out of it.
And you probably got a better grasp of it now.
That's right. But these like perpetual bankruptcy filing couples and shit, they go out and they just buy this and that gets repoed. No, well, I'll just file bankruptcy. It's like, no.
Dude, that gives me a knot in my stomach just thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like the efficiency. I like the...
Yeah.
But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll be transparent here. I was very frivolous with my money spending for a long time. It wasn't until, well, very recently that I really, tried to, grab a hold of it.
Right.
I was like, all right, let's fucking figure this out. I know how to do it. I'm not an idiot.
Right.
It's just doing it.
And that's doing the hard things so that you can have an easier day-to-day life and existence.
That's it. And financial stress is such a fucking burden. I don't know if it is for everybody, but it is for me. Like, it weighs on me very heavy.
Anybody that says it doesn't, they're lying to you.
Yeah, it's very heavy. And it's one of those things that you don't realize in your day-to-day when you're going about until, time goes on a little bit and you're like, Jesus, why am I so worn down a little bit? And then some things get caught up and you get all figured out, and then you're like, oh.
Well, and you feel like you can breathe instead of having all that weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, trying to figure out, this and that.
Well, and this is a topical point for me for old man screaming at the sky.
Yeah.
Because my boys were asked to shovel the neighbor's driveway while they were on spring break. So they were out of state somewhere, and he sent me a message. He's like, hey, would your boys want to earn some money while we're gone on vacation? I said, yeah, absolutely. And so with this snow that was coming and whatnot, he's like, just keep the driveway clear for me.
Yeah.
They have people coming over and check the dogs and this and that and whatever else. And, and so first off, he told me, he's like, hey, the money's right inside. Here's the code to get in the house. It's sitting right at the counter. No fucking way. Nobody gets paid for the work's done. Yep. So they got home today. And we went over earlier today and we finished up the driveway, made sure it looked nice. It was as presentable as we could make it. And, and so then we went back home. The boys were playing some video games. He sent me a message like, hey, I'm home, send the boys over, et cetera, et cetera. So I sent them over there and I said, okay, listen, this is the way it's going to work. You guys need to go over there. The first thing you have to do, because customer service is everything, you don't accept the money until you ask, are you happy with the job that we did? Is there anything else? Is there something that we missed? Because they don't know. They're learning. They're fucking 11 years old and 12 years old. They don't know. They don't know they're a fucking asshole from a hole in the ground.
Sure.
So I said, you need to make sure that they're satisfied with the work that you did. Because if they're not, don't you dare accept that fucking money. I'll make you take it back.
Yeah.
So I said, you make sure that they're happy with the work that you both did. And they're like, okay, Dad. And so send them over there. Well, I said, listen, regardless of the money that you earn from doing this, you're going to put 50% of that in the bank. You're going to save at least 50% of it. And then sure as shit, with that other 50% that come out, they're like, can we buy some V-Bucks? We want to buy some shit for NBA 2K25 or whatever it was. Yeah. He called them VCs, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I said, you have money burning a hole in your pocket. I said, you're going to wait at least 24 hours. Just because you have it does not mean that you have to spend it. I said, there's nothing wrong with saving. You've already saved 50% of it. I said, I'm not telling you that you can't spend that, but I'm going to make you sit on it for 24 hours. at a minimum.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not going away.
Mhm.
The money's not going to disappear. It's not like it's counting down to zero, right? That
Yeah, there's
money
no
is going,
timer on it.
that money will be the money forever.
Yep.
So I'm like, pump the brakes, be cool, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. And if
Mhm.
you still want to buy it, then we can discuss it. But I'm like, these are the things that, and again, kids don't understand, and I don't expect them to, and I
they
don't want to
don't.
burden my children. But I explain to the kids, here's how much your mom and I pay for the mortgage.
Right.
Here's how much. So if my check is $4,000,
Mhm.
I need to take $1,000 from that check and I need to put it into a separate account to pay my taxes.
Right.
And so then we have a conversation about taxes and we do this and we do that. And I'm like, Jessica's like, why? Just why? And I'm like, because nobody has these conversations with these kids.
Right.
I said they don't understand, one, what things cost, or two, the value and the importance of money and the needs that you have.
Right.
And needs need to come before wants.
Yeah, and you almost need to like give them something of their own to pay for that they want.
Yeah.
Like if they have an Xbox, have them pay for Xbox Live every month.
Right.
You know, it's only like $12 or something, but
Sure.
have them put it on their card
Right.
and a little bit of, you know, and maybe 1 month they don't have it.
Right.
And it's like, hey, I need $12. Oh, okay. What do you want? You know,
Right.
what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do to earn $12?
That's right.
Maybe it's, you know, something like that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for me, that's my rant for this week, because it just, listeners, have these conversations. One, if you're not having them with your spouse, your significant other, or with yourself, if you're single, you need to.
Yeah. Your spouse is very important. You guys need to be on the same page
Yes.
money-wise.
Fiscal intelligence
Yep.
is extremely important. We have a financial advisor.
Mhm.
You know, we have a money market account, we have retirement accounts, we have our 401ks, we have all of these things.
Yep.
And it's like, we need somebody to help guide us through the management. I don't necessarily want to be a financial advisor, but I'll
Right.
find the people to help me.
100%.
And so have these conversations. And then secondly, this is my recommendation. You have to have these conversations with others,
Yeah.
with your kids,
It's important.
with your
Yeah.
kids, you know, because my goal ultimately is to leave my kids something, whether it's assets, whether it's money, what have you.
Yep.
I want them to have something long-term to help them get their start in life.
Right.
But you can't just give a kid $20,000 and expect them to make good decisions if they have no baseline to work from.
For sure.
And so have these conversations. They're not always easy.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's tough sitting down and going through and looking at your budget and where are we spending money and what about this and what
Oh,
about that?
it's not sometimes. It's every time. It fucking
Yeah.
sucks. Still, right now, it's
terrible.
still like, fuck.
Yep.
But you have to do it to make life a little bit easier.
That's right.
You
Do
know?
the hard things first so you can have the easy decisions after the fact.
Yep.
And that, for some reason, that whole comment structure that I don't know if I read it or I watched it on a video or something,
Mhm.
but it really resonated. You have to have the hard, and it could be a relationship conversation with you and your spouse,
Sure.
you know, about setting expectations, whatever that is.
Mhm.
You have to have these conversations so that you can move forward and everybody can be on the same page.
Yeah. Once the air is clear, hey, it's
Yep.
smooth sailing, baby.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So we finished up our 2 new segments. That feels good.
I know.
That
It does
feels
feel
good. So we'll try to utilize those segments throughout, still have banter back and forth, but I think consistently Conspiracy Corner and Old Man Screaming at the Sky is gonna feel really good
I think so.
each episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about our new favorite show. We've been hopping in the group chat with all the boys
Yep.
talking about our new favorite show, Severance.
Yep.
Oh,
Which
my
is
God.
a good one.
Yes.
I haven't watched the latest episode yet.
Which is fine.
I'm
We're
not
not talking
I'm not
about
a
all that.
Apple Plus customer.
Yeah, I'm not either. Thanks to, is it Baba Flix or some weird fucking streaming site, probably from Croatia. But I was able to watch episode 6 today, so thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks.
God love my VPN. So it's such a unique concept.
Dude, you are not kidding.
It is, and those are the shows where it's like, wow, this is just fucking crazy.
It's been a really long time, if ever, that I've been into a show like this.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like back in the day, there was like Dexter and stuff like
Sure.
that. That was really good, but like this is kind of a psychological mind trip,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Especially this season,
Yep.
you know, with the big explosion. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, even Kelly was watching it. She goes, I don't understand.
Right.
And I'm like, so I paused it and I'm like, this is what's going on, you know?
Yep.
She's like, what?
Yes. It is.
It's good.
It's one of those shows that you have to pay so close attention to it.
Yeah.
So I'll watch an episode and then I immediately go to the subreddit and I read all of the theories.
Do you?
All of the things. Because people are like, oh, I'm on my third rewatch. Here's what I found. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah.
That's the shit that
I'm like,
on
I don't
right
have time
there.
for 3 watches, but I'll watch it once and then come read your theories.
That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Dude, I go any show that I get into deep that's currently like being released, I always go to the subreddit.
Do you read ahead?
No.
No, me, I couldn't. That'd be my, like, no spoilers is what I want. Let's just talk about that episode.
100%. So they have in the subreddit specifically, they have episode discussions. So you can go episode by episode. That's what I did because I binged season 1 because I didn't start watching it till it was completed. Then I had X watch season 1. He was immediately hooked because he loves shows like that.
Yep.
And then you guys both started watching season 2 before I did.
Yeah.
But now that we're all basically caught up, you're 1 episode behind, but no big deal. I've never seen a show that plays to its watchers so well because they don't assume that the people watching are stupid and need to be spoon-fed.
Yeah, that's fair.
So many shows that you watch, like on the big networks, NBC, CBS, ABC, like everything's pretty well spoon-fed to you. Like, here's the surprise. These other characters don't know, when's the big reveal?
Yeah.
There isn't anything that's like, you're really like walking on eggshells.
This one, I'm kind of like, I'm still not 100% sure what the fuck's going on.
And everybody's like that.
Yeah. I mean,
nobody knows. And that's the brilliance and the intelligence behind the writing.
The basis of the show is that your work life and your personal life are separated by this severance.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, other than a bunch of the middle story, that's pretty much all we fucking know still.
100%.
You see these people's personal lives and stuff like that, but I mean, you're still waiting for it to like all circle around and come together. And I'm like,
and at some point everything will coalesce. I'm curious. The one thing I haven't seen is like how many seasons they have planned, because here's what I know. It's not like with one of my favorite series, Lost, right? So they wrote that, but the ending was a little funky. They didn't really know how to end the show. Like they wrote the first 1, 2, 3 seasons.
See if it gets popular.
Yeah. And then they just kind of let it develop and then it ended the way it ended. Whatever. I still love the show. No issues there.
Right.
But this one, with how in-depth and how I just know that everything's planned. Like they have a true timeline for like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4. Like it's not like, well, if we get picked up next year, then we'll figure it out. Because of how intelligent the writing is, that it's all laid out.
It has to be. And it's on Apple TV, which is a pretty premier subscription.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I like how you're like little bougie, little shoulder shake.
Little,
like, ooh.
Drink my Celsius with my
Celsius. Pinky out. It's true though.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it feels like they have a very, very good foundation and also the world building behind it.
It's a really cool.
There's so many unknowns and it almost feels like a cult of sorts.
What's that guy's name that you really like? That's the black guy, the director.
Milchek.
Yeah. Dude, that guy's part.
Oh my God.
Is amazing, and he plays it so good, dude. Like every time I see, I'm like, the whole thing is just so fucking
he has
good.
a couple.
If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it.
Yes, please watch it. It's so good.
So good.
There's a couple episode 6. Spit it out, man. The Celsius is getting to me. So,
the lips are quivering.
So in episode 6, Milchek doesn't have a whole lot of scenes, but he has one, and it's like, what a fucking phenomenal actor. And in season 1, when they're having like the dance party and shit.
Dude,
I'm like, what a fucking stud. I mean, it's just so,
I know.
It's so amazing. And it's also a little off-putting, but it is just so wildly enjoyable.
It activates so many different feelings when I'm watching it, because like that dance party scene made me feel a little uncomfortable. There's like 4 of them in there.
Yeah.
The music's going. He's jamming like
Yeah.
legit, like
Yeah.
like he's in a club. You know what I mean? He's
So
all
good.
in their
They
face.
got the lights going and shit. I'm like, let's fucking go.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, fucking get it, Milchak.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It is such a great show. And I love that it assumes that the viewer is going to be locked in.
Yeah.
This is not a show for a casual viewer.
No, you can't doom scroll.
Nope.
And you won't even understand the next episode.
You're going to be like,
what
what?
the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, they basically just drop you right in. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Well, when I watched episode 5, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about right here? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'd watched the recap and I was like, did we skip a fucking episode or something? Like I was so confused
Well,
right
and
at the beginning.
it's like a cold open of sorts.
Yeah.
They just drop you into the shit and you
Yep.
kind of have to catch up and be like, okay, where are we at here in the story?
Yeah, it's almost like you were playing a video game and you saved it. And then somebody else played it for a little while but didn't tell you and then
Right.
saved it and you hop back in like,
Perfect analogy.
yeah, like where the hell are we? What
Right.
happened?
But it is so good.
I think that's what makes it great though.
Yeah. So that is an incredibly uncensored recommendation.
For sure.
You've got to check that show out because it is a fucking blast.
Since we're talking about shows, did you have you watched the first season of Silo?
No.
No. So they have season 2.
We got to
and
get your
it's-
server set up so that it's on all the time.
I know. So the damn thing's on like a sleep timer, so it
Right.
doesn't stay on all day.
Right.
You know. But yeah, season 2 is all the way out too, and man, that's another kind of mind bender.
I heard it's a banger. I mean, Apple TV.
Yeah.
Well, and X was recommending another Apple Plus show, Slow Horses.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Slow
Okay.
Horses. That sounds like that one's good too. So you might want to toss that one on the server as well.
Okay.
Because that's supposed to be a fucking good one as well.
All right, I'll check that out. Silo, I really like.
Because that's based
Piqued
off
my
a book
interest.
series, is it not?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't seen or read anything about slow horses. I only know fast horses.
Faster horses.
Faster. Faster. Yes.
Well, talking about another show, Last of Us, season
Oh,
2
I think it comes out this year, April or something,
comes out
right?
in April.
I'm gonna have to rewatch all of season 1
Same,
first.
100% same. That was a show. Sometimes video game adaptations fall a little flat,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, the Resident Evil movies, they were good, this, that,
Yeah.
whatever else. So I went in kind of not really knowing, and I had never played the games.
Same.
I never played the game. So I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I love Pedro Pascal.
Yep.
I think he's a fucking phenomenal actor.
He can play any part,
Anything. And
dude.
he's great.
He was great in Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah,
like
absolutely.
fuck.
Yep, absolutely. So you watch that first season and it was like, holy shit, this is fucking. You watch that show and it's just perpetual dread through the entire show,
Whole entire time.
just anxiety inducing. And when you can elicit an emotional response from watching a show,
Mm-hmm.
you know it's fucking great.
That's exactly how I feel, and that's how I felt like I could you can personally relate to this show as if the world had ended.
Yes.
You know, and
Yep.
like you were kind of a last survivor scenario. They're finding like Chef Boyardee ravioli,
Yeah.
you know, in these old
Yep.
stores and shit. And he's like, oh, it's fuck 15 years old, you know, but it's fine. I've ate a
Yeah.
bunch of them before, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just the emotional balances and imbalances between the characters that they meet and the
Right.
different situations that they get put in and how he's so attached to Ellie,
Yeah.
you know, and kind of they develop that
Well,
father-daughter
and here's a
relationship.
great question for the listeners. If you've watched Last of Us, if you don't have children, does it resonate with you the same way?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because for me, like, he had a daughter.
Yeah.
And now
Right.
this is almost like a surrogate type relationship. And there's a connection there based on what he's lost.
And imagine being in that predicament. I mean, it would be unreal not to think that this is another chance.
Right.
This is your second chance.
Exactly.
To kind of like fix what happened.
Right.
You know?
Well, and spoiler alert, when he goes into like the hospital to like rescue her from all the craziness that
Yep.
was going to go on there at the end of season 1.
God, I forgot all about that. That's
You know-
fucking crazy.
And I can't go back in time and imagine myself watching it not having children, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I can't sever my connection as a father now to be able to
Right.
watch it as like just a 20-something without kids.
Yeah.
So for me, I can only watch it through the frame of my own existence. As crazy as that sounds, but
no,
that's
it's
the only way I
perception.
understand it.
Yeah.
So when I watch it, I'm like, that's why I feel so much anxiety watching that show, because I'm like, I can't imagine being in that situation, having lost a child, and I'm living in this dystopian zombie type hellscape
Yeah.
with, little to no understanding of what the future holds.
Literally fighting for your life
Right.
every single day.
So much uncertainty and shit. To me, it's just absolutely wild. And how the different factions are all set up. And I don't know, the whole
And
thing
you're-
is just wild.
Yeah, you're trying to fucking travel.
Right.
I mean, by foot, sometimes you get a car,
Right.
but it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like that, the whole thing is just crazy. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited now to rewatch that first season.
It's going to be such a banger.
We should try that watch with friends thing.
Yes.
on
Absolutely.
Plex with that. That'd be cool.
No problem there.
Fuck yeah.
I'm all in with that. So, anything else you want to talk about? Anything topical that's sitting atop the mind? We talked about Conspiracy Corner, Old Man Ranting.
Sports Corner.
We got Sports Corner. We talked a little bit about politics and the government and Doge.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything else real topical.
Nah.
Nah. I know that when this episode releases, I'll be balls deep in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, baby.
I'm coming for you, baby. I'm gonna be deep in you.
Gotta take a picture of that big old tomahawk steak that you get when you're there.
Yeah, 100%.
I want a crystal clear picture.
I mean, when you're there on the company's dime, if you're not buying 40-ounce steaks, what are you even doing with your life?
You're not having enough fun, I'll tell you that.
Goddamn right.
If you don't get the meat sweats.
I don't get the meat sweats, baby. I'm going to see if I can get some more people to bet against me, and then I'm going to put down that 40-ounce tomahawk like a fucking boss.
Yeah, then you won't even pay for it.
Goddamn right.
That's the deal. If I eat it all, you guys pay for it.
Pay up. Money on the table, baby. Money on the table.
And you can have my side.
Yeah. What side do you want? Because I ain't going to eat it. I want all the meat. That's it. Give me a little bit of clarified butter to dip my steak in.
Oh, yeah.
Happy as a pig in shit.
Clarified butter.
Well, and I checked the weather. It's going to be like mid-70s.
Ooh.
One day in the 80s. Mandalay Bay, where we're staying, has a pool that's open year-round that they heat.
Ooh.
So I think I'm going to take my little swim trunks, try to get a dip one day.
Man, that's going to be nice.
Yeah. Maybe they have some swim-up blackjack. We can have some fun.
Eat that tomahawk by the bone, baby, in the pool.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going straight Fred Flintstone.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only way to do it. All right. Well, that's all I have, my man.
Yeah,
You good?
that's all I got too, yeah.
Dude. And it feels good. Tonight we get to go home, watch the Michigan State game.
I know, and it's going to be so good.
Dude, I'm fucking stoked. We have 3 basketball games tomorrow, so we got a busy day. Got some more properties I'm listing, so it's going to be a good weekend. And then fly out on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. You leaving in the morning?
No, leaving the evening.
Okay.
We get to Vegas pretty late on Sunday, but I'm okay with that. Vegas is like 72 hours and out for me.
Yeah.
Anything over that's a little too much.
Yeah.
It is the city of sin. Definitely debauchery.
Yep.
Doing all the things, but we'll have some fun. I'll do a little bit of work during the day, a little bit of partying at night, a little bit of sleeping when I can, but it'll be a lot of sugar-free Red Bulls, maybe some edibles here or there. We'll see.
Yep. Some tomahawk steaks, a little gambling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yep.
Get all juiced up on the Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'll have my Alps. With me so I get my nicotine fix. I'll be sitting pretty.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have a good time.
I won't be hating life at all. I don't.
No way.
It's going to be a good time. As long as our plane lands appropriately.
Yeah. Well, at least the one that landed upside down, everybody was fine. You just took a little while to get off there.
What a hot mess. Somebody did an AMA on Reddit that night. And I guess she was like a retired Army or whatever. She's like, I didn't really think I was going to die, but it was pretty wild. We got flipped over upside down and they basically told us to stay in our seats. And she was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
She's like, undid my seatbelt. And then she's like, the cool part was, and it gave me a lot of hope for humanity, was that everybody was helping each other.
It's good.
Because the plane was upside down. People were obviously buckled in. So they were helping people get unbuckled, not fall on their fucking heads and shit. But I was like, man, terrifying shit.
There was a guy that took a video as he was climbing out of the plane. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
So he's climbing out. This woman's like, come on, everybody out. Not like freaking out, but like getting everybody off the plane. And he's videoing like this. And he's going, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And he turns around and the fucking plane's right there. He goes, I was just on that fucking plane. And like you can hear him like realizing it.
He's processing.
Like, yeah. He's like, I was just on that fucking plane. He says it like 6 times where he's like, holy shit, you know? Like imagine.
No, I can't imagine.
You'd be like, boom, boom. You probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't even know what happened until you got off the plane. And then you're like, what the fuck?
I know.
Am I pinching yourself?
Yeah.
Like, Am I alive? Like, holy shit.
Well, and of course, as a recovering narcissist, my first thought was, Jesus, if I'm in flip-flops getting off that plane, that's probably a fucking hot mess.
Oh, man. Your flip-flops might not even be on anymore.
Oh, no, I would have curled my toes. My flip-flops wouldn't have been going anywhere. I promise you that. I've been wearing them long enough. I know how to keep those fuckers on.
Yeah, I think you're going to be fine, though.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, I think I'll be fine as well. But, man, just pretty crazy shit happening.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy shit happening.
Well,
That's why... Love who you love. Always be authentic.
Yeah.
You know, don't ever let anything go unsaid. That's how I feel I need to live my life.
There we go.
All right. Well, I am Johnny B. Good with Incredibly Uncensored, joined by my man,
Mikey B.
This has been a fucking great and amazing episode as always. The sun slowly setting behind us. Man, it feels good though.
So good.
That flaming ball of plasma in the sky, like I said, bricked up.
Come get some, baby. Come get some.
Absolutely. All right. We will see you guys next week on Incredibly Uncensored. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.